You know, growing up in a family of 20, 12 girls, 8 boys, basketball was a sport that we all learned how to play. We couldn't afford to buy a real rim, and we just made it work. You know, not knowing if I would ever play basketball, because I wanted to quit basketball. I wanted to walk away from it. My dad would say, don't give your power away, and that's your faith, your attitude, and how hard you work. Those 3 things no one can take away. And that's why I love traveling the world and sharing my life story. I can remember like it was yesterday. It's like my sister Mayo was a superstar. The top 20 colleges wanted her, and I was sort of a nonchalant type of player. And it was late in the game, you know, no coaches in my senior year had reached out to me. And so it got to a point where I was just like a little bit like puzzled, like, wow. By this time last year, they was all, you know, my sister had been on 3 or 4 visits. I don't know, I just asked my dad, I said, Dad, what do you think? I don't know, Auburn should have at least reached out to me by now. And so my dad said, well, what are you gonna do? You call them, be proactive. And so sure enough, I called Auburn University and I was like, hey, what's up? Isn't it about time for me to come on my school visit? And they said, yes, but we don't have the funds to fly you. That if you wanna come, you know, if we can put you on the bus. It was weird because I get there and I'm expecting them to be excited, so I'm glad you're here. But they said that, you know, we don't think this is a place for you to play. So I was very shocked and very confused. But they said, you know what, we will honor the scholarship, but we just let you know the reality that you might not really play much until your junior, senior year. So I was left with the challenge, and if it wasn't for my father, I don't even know if I would have embraced that. My father was there to say, you know, yeah, there may be odds against you, and it might look like there's no way out. He said, but there is. And that's what my dad would talk a lot about, faith. He said, you gotta have faith and believe. He said, God is not gonna go out there shooting the baskets for you, but you gotta have faith. If you are determined, great things come from it. If you got feel in your heart, this is what you wanna do. And I said, Dad, yes, I wanna play basketball. He said, so go for it. And I told Auburn, yes, I wanna come and play. And sure enough, and the rest is history. I ended up starting my freshman year. And the coaches were like, hold up, like, did we misjudge this that much? Like, how can you totally change from a player that we saw in 6 weeks? He said, you transformed, not like a little bit, it's like it was, the margin was amazing. When I try to share that story with kids, I say, you know, it's amazing what happens when you have faith, but when you work hard. After college, I actually didn't get invited to go play for the national team, and which was, a lot of coaches was like, wow. You made it to the championship game, you was all tournament, amazing postseason play, and you didn't get an invitation. So back then, they had an open trials, and you know, that door opportunity closed, but that window was, I paid my own way to go. And I remember talking to my father about it, and I said, Dad, what do you think I should do? So he said, now, if you don't go, you always wonder what if. Yes, it might be unfair, but you know what, life isn't fair. People go on what they see. He would always say, don't worry about what people say about you, just don't let it be true. We had 9 sessions in 3 days, and it was like brutal because of the altitude. And after the 3rd day, you know, they sat everybody down, 175 girls, and they made this big speech. They saying, you know, thank you all for coming. And like I said, we only got 24 spots, you know, for 2 teams, and there was going to be about 150 girls that, you know, probably go home disappointed, but good luck with the rest of your career. Thanks for coming. But if you made the team, your name would be highlighted outside. And so I sat there not knowing, you know, what the outcome would be, but I just felt good. I felt empowered because I was there. I'm glad I came, no matter what the results, I was happy to be there. But sure enough, I go outside and I remember it was a yellow highlight, Ruthie Bolton. And I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. I thought about my father like, Dad, thank you for believing in me, thank you for encouraging me. I still was not sure about my direction. I was still like not strong enough. But my dad was like the wind beneath my wings, and he encouraged me. So I played on different teams, Goodwill, World University, World Championship, would led up to the Olympics. And at 9-6, and that was like the great moment. And played for the 9-6 Olympic team, we won. Played for the 9-8 World Championship in Germany, which we won. That's a whole story within itself. We were down by 15 at our halftime, ended up coming back to win. That was like, when I speak sometimes I generally tell that story. It still gives me chills because we weren't supposed to win. And it was just a thing where I was just determined. I said, no, we're not leaving this gym until we won. So that was beautiful. And then making the Olympic team again in 2000. All this national team was launched to get ready for the obviously WNBA, and just being able to play. And, I played overseas for 8 years, and being able to play for the inauguration of the WNBA was just amazing. And my struggles and my journey and my playing and my traveling overseas and my playing 25 years, I've learned for myself the importance of my faith, and I couldn't have made it. Romans, it talks about nothing should separate me from the love of Christ, and that's one of my favorite books in the Bible, is in Romans, that nothing should separate me from God's love. Persecution, disappointment, rejection, all these things I've gone through, that God is bigger than all of it. And I was in a car accident, and right after high school, I was in my senior year in high school. My dad, we were getting ready to go to church, and we was rushing as usual, always late. But we was getting ready to make this left turn. And I remember I was sitting in the back, and I remember seeing this 18-wheeler coming. And the last thing I remember is like, wow, I think my dad turned too soon. The car spun around about 4 times. The door came off. I was thrown out of the car. And so they found me in a ditch, and my head was, I was laying on the Bible, because my dad kept a lot of Bibles in the car. And so anyway, I got rushed to the hospital, and I actually only spent 1 night in the hospital. And it was just by the grace of God. So I felt like that was God's way of saying that this is just, part of what you gotta go through. So I think about, like, why did he give me another lease on life? Because he had so much for me to do. Life threw a lot of curveballs at me, some ups and some downs, some valleys. But it's amazing what happens when you have the foundation right. Jesus has changed my life. Obviously, I couldn't have done anything without it. And I know, like I said, my Father gave me that foundation. I don't see how people even try to embrace life, without having something that they can hold on to other than themselves, having something bigger than themselves. And I get my peace from not the world. The peace I give is not the world given. That's in John. And so I can't live without that either. Through a transition in my life, from playing to not playing, it was tough. But I learned that I have to learn how to aim higher than all the frustration, than the disappointment, than the rejection, because I felt like I knew that God had something bigger. I said, God, please help me, in this transition. So I said, in order for me to be able to grow, I got to aim higher. So that's how I developed this program. If you hit the front of the rim, it never has a chance to go in. So aiming high to aim the back of the rim. So if it may bounce and bounce around, but it eventually bounce in. Have this basketball program. I travel the world and speak. I travel overseas. I do a lot of after-school program with kids. And ESPN did a documentary last summer, The Making of Famer Ruthie. And it features a very tough area of my life. It features domestic violence, and sort of I call it a dark place. But one of the reasons I started to talk about it, because I want to be transparent. I want to empower women to flex their muscles. It's sort of a hashtag, flex your muscles to a better you. And I'm known for flexing my muscles, but it's not just a physical thing, it's a spiritual thing. So I'm thankful that God has chosen me as a vessel to share my pain, that God has got me to this place where I can, talk, not as a victim, but talk victoriously about my experience. Every day I get up and say, Lord, how can I be better than I was yesterday? How can I use my gift for others? Anybody that's trying to live for God, live for Christ, struggle because the peer pressure of you got to live this perfect life. I would say stay in the Word, stay prayerful, keep that individual prayer time, and really don't worry about trying to be perfect. Always strive for excellence. Always strive to be the best, but don't worry about trying to prove to people that you're a Christian. My dad used to always say, you don't have to wear a sign on your chest, saved, or you don't have to beat people across the head with the Bible. It's like your life, by the way you live, by the way you talk, people can see the light in your life. So try to be an example. And even when you fall down, get back up. And you're going to make mistakes. And people going to always judge and have their opinion of you, but I would say stay prayerful with the Word, talk to Jesus every day. Christ, like you talking to your friends, say, Lord, create me a clean heart. And be true to yourself. Like, God, this is the area that I struggle in. Can you help me? I just don't want God's blessing. Like, I want His favor. And I want to be, I would say, more like David. Why was David a man after God's own heart? David, we all know David committed, 3 of the biggest, what we call biggest sins. He lusted, he committed adultery, he killed someone. Why was David the man after God's own heart? And I feel like because he didn't try to really hide, he didn't try to just say, she made me do it, look what she did to me, look at what he did to me. I think that he was honest with himself. He was like, God, I've sinned against you, created me a clean heart. So I think that God wants us to be honest and true. He wants us to recognize that we can't do it without him. He wants us to be like at his mercy. That's my testimony too. It's just that God created me a clean heart. Like I can't make the right decision without you. And I need you to guide me every step of the way. So I want to be like David. I want to be someone that God can trust. And God said I can use a soldier like that. I can use someone that I can trust. I'm Ruthie Bolton, and I play for him.